Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. So I just posted my review on tonight's episode. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely make sure to go check it out. This will contain spoilers for the episode, so I hope you guys are aware of that. I think most of you guys have already watched it though. But I want to raise the question of, did Leah run away because she was pregnant? And is it because having another child and just the situation she was in and the trust issues with Daryl, did that scare her away? Is that something we're going to find out very soon? So yeah, a lot to unpack. There's a lot to get into there. So if you are new here and you want more Walking Dead content like this, just make sure to be a subscriber. I also made a TikTok. It's just at Music Mountain Terrace Street. The link for that should be down below potentially. I think you're able to leave links for stuff like that, right? I don't know. I'm new to that. I literally just made it. So yeah, I'd really appreciate it though if you guys can follow me on there because I think it'll be a lot of fun. But the question, or I guess this is kind of a theory, right? Was Leah pregnant when she left? And is that the reason she ran away? And I actually think there's a very good chance for it. And it mostly is because of the Commonwealth arc. This could be something that comes up then, or it could be something to do with the spinoff. Because actually, first, let's just talk about the idea of her being pregnant and running away and why it would make a lot of sense. Leah and Daryl, they definitely are, they are people with trust issues, for sure. They can read people very well. And, I think Leah could tell that Daryl wasn't completely committed to her because he was out there looking for Rick. He would return to Alexandria, or he had that place in mind. And so I think for her, she was like, he's not completely committed to me. She felt a little worried about the fact that maybe I'll have someone else in my life like this child, and this child will have to go through losing someone else because the father, Daryl, won't want to be around or this and that because, yeah, like I said, she had a lot of trust issues, which I think could actually put into context a lot of why she was so emotional in her final scene and giving Daryl that ultimatum. She was really telling him, like, you have to choose if you want to be here or not. And she seemed like she was pretty emotional, like something was on her mind. It just kind of came up out of nowhere. Maybe she found out something, or she had an idea, a feeling that she might be pregnant. And it could have been, I guess, the fact that, or maybe she took a pregnancy test. I don't know if she could actually find one somewhere, but either that or she found out from some other means. But I actually think that there's a pretty good chance that this could be a possibility because I think you want Daryl to have like offspring, right? Like you want these big characters like Glenn, Rick, even Lori, even Shane technically, right? And like Daryl as well. You want them all to have kids because they are your legacy characters. You want Daryl to have a son or a daughter because that would be a legacy character as well. And this way, in the future, if they ever wanted to do a Walking Dead 2.0 or something like that, Walking Dead Next Generation, you would have like Judith, RJ, Herschel, and then I guess Daryl's kid, right? And then some of the kids of the other, like Rosita's kid. Like you would have all of these characters. A lot of them have this amazing backstory, amazing fathers and mothers that, yeah, I think you could do something with that there. And also there is this Daryl and Carol spinoff that if we don't get into any of this stuff right away with the Commonwealth arc, I could see, and I'll explain why I keep bringing up the Commonwealth arc right away, but I could see this potentially being a reason for the spinoff. Either it's his motivation for leaving along with trying to find Rick, because maybe it's something he finds out in the final season, or the spinoff focuses on this and it's something he finds out in the spinoff, because the spinoff, you need something going for the characters, something personal, right? And with Carol, I don't really know what's going to come up with her. They got to bring something in, because she's like, I don't know, it depends on what happens to Ezekiel, but she'll probably just be out there and she'll make new friends, new connections and stuff like that. But Daryl, I think if he came across Leah and found out he had a kid, and that kid, I guess at this point would be like 2 years old or something like that, I would say like 2 years old, almost to a year to 2 years old, that could really change a lot. That would make the spinoff really interesting. That would be such a big reveal if season 1 ended with Daryl finding that out or something like that, right? Because then you have the spinoff is like Daryl taking care of his son or daughter. And it's like this big moment. Like, I don't know. I think it would actually be so amazing. I think it's the time to do something like that with the character, because Lynn Collins has said that Leah is likely going to return. Like she never said it like that. Like people like Chris Hardwick on Talking Dead kept asking her, are we going to see the character again? And she would just be like, oh, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, sort of thing. But I do think we are going to see her again. That definitely isn't the last of Leah. And so I think we're going to see her either in the final season, or it's going to be in the Daryl and Carol spinoff. And if I had to place any bets on when we would see her again, I think it would be the Daryl and Carol spinoff, because you could get to it in the final season, but there's just so much going on. I don't really know what to expect in the spinoff, but Leah being a character in the spinoff, it would just be another recognizable face, right? And I would love her to be a secondary character or whatever and be a part of that group. I think that'd be a lot of fun. And this is where things could get very complicated, I think, with Daryl and Connie a lot later. And I'll get to the Commonwealth stuff right after this, but I think the Daryl and Connie thing could get very complicated, because like they could be an item. Obviously, Daryl, he's trying to find her. He's still completely heartbroken about it. And I do think he still has feelings for her, obviously, but it's just what do you do with Leah? And that's the thing too, is like Daryl and Leah have this special connection, right? But there's also Daryl and Connie. And I would say that Daryl is most likely going to end up with Connie, I think. Even though I would prefer him to be with Leah, I think he could end up with Connie first, because she's just the most like recent like love interest, and she just went missing. There's just been this whole story. And I think if Leah comes back into the picture, Daryl will probably just brush her off and just be like, no, you left, Connie doesn't deserve me to just leave the same way you did. And maybe if Leah wouldn't be pregnant, I guess, right? Because she would have the child afterwards. But if she did have a kid, that would just make Daryl and Leah connected in that way, where Daryl would take care of Leah because she's the mother of his child, but Daryl and Connie would still be together. I think that's a way you could actually make that whole situation work. And I think this could potentially be revealed in the Commonwealth. It's possible that Leah went over there, and that's where she's raising this child. We could get a version of the comic scene with Michonne and her daughter, and this could be told in the final season very early on. I think it is very possible. I think it's also possible that maybe it's the reason for the spinoff, that Daryl's going to find out a lot of information, maybe even at the Commonwealth, and that's the premise for the spinoff, is that Daryl searches for his kid and for Rick. I don't think it's too crazy to think that she could be pregnant, and I remember I actually mentioned this about Michonne in season 9, episode 3 or 4. It was around there. Maybe episode 5? I can't remember what episode it was, but it was around there. I think it was episode 3 or 4 actually. I got this hint that Michonne could be pregnant, and it was the way she was talking to Negan. I made a video on it, and then it turns out, yeah, she was, because RJ was born soon after. And so I think it could be possible. Like they were both together. They actually lived together for the most part for like 10 months, right? It's not too crazy to think that she would end up pregnant, and the fact that that's a big reason or motivation as to why she left is because she realized, oh, I think I'm actually pregnant, and it scared her a lot because of Daryl's, I guess, non-commitment to her, right? And I think that's why she gave him the ultimatum. He couldn't decide, and so she just left. I don't think it's that crazy of an idea, but I guess I will just leave it here. There's nothing really more I could say on it other than, yeah, it's just, I think it would be really exciting for the fans. I think it would be really cool to see Daryl as a father, knowing that he is a father, because right now he just feels like an uncle, right? Like the cool uncle, but it would be cool for him to actually be a father, actually have someone he has to take care of, and tries to search for this child. I think it would be a really cool premise for the spinoff, along with trying to find Rick, because you need to have Daryl and them in the movies, obviously, right? And with the show ending very soon, we know that Daryl and him for sure are going to be in the movies. Probably the second or the third one, but they are going to be in the Rick movies. So yeah, I think it would be absolutely perfect. I think this is a really awesome idea, and I hope that this is actually a thing. And that's why Leah ran, because that's the big mystery, right? Why did Leah run away? I think it was more than just she was worried that Daryl wasn't committed to her, and like just relationship wise. I think it makes sense that she was expecting that she was pregnant or suspecting that she was pregnant. And then, yeah, she got scared and left. I think it makes a lot of sense. They really hammered down this episode that they both have major trust issues. So it's not that crazy, but I want to hear what you guys have to say about this idea. Post your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.